Hello, all you ghosts and goblins out there. I am Andrew,
I'm Ashton.
And I'm Sean.
and we are the Night Scholars, exploring the mystifying world of cryptids, ghosts, ghouls, and all things supernatural. Today, we'll be talking about the saddest, yet most adorable, yet homely and disgusting mystical creature known as the Squonk. Alright, how you guys doing today?
You
Doing
know,
all right.
yeah, I drove 8 hours today, so I'm a little bit out of it, but that's fine because I was just dreaming about cryptids and conspiracy theories.
That's always fun. I'm still recovering from my cold a little bit, but I sound good enough to record, so here we are.
You
Indeed.
got a you got a bottle of Dayquil next to you.
No, it's in the car.
All right then.
I've
Uh,
drank, when I was at my worst, I think I drank 3 bottles in 4 days.
Good lord.
And let me tell you, don't do that, but it did work.
Hey kids, if you're listening, don't try that at home.
No, you are not the same as me.
Hey, you should probably put a content warning on this episode just for that statement right there.
Yeah, don't do it. Anyway, Sean, you're head for scholarly research. What do you have for us today?
Honestly, not much. Most research I found just references the original tale of the Squonk as the first sighting, and nobody really has as much new sightings lately. But there are quite a lot of hunters of it in Pennsylvania. I did find people who like to go out and search for it.
And it is a Pennsylvanian uh, cryptid, right?
It likes the woods of southern Pennsylvania.
It does.
The hemlock forest, to be exact.
The what forest?
The hemlock forest.
Oh, I see, I see.
It
That
would
is
like a forest named after poison.
always a good thing. If I'm correct, the first mention of this creature is from the book that came out in 1910 called Fearsome Creatures of the Lumberwoods, right?
With a
That sounds
few
right.
desert and mountain beasts.
Oh,
Written by William Thomas Cox.
yes.
Yes.
So I actually have the book here. Would you like me to read the excerpt about the Squonk to you?
Sure, go ahead.
Go right
I
ahead.
The Squonk. Lacrim- Lacrima corpus
Mhm.
dissolvens, which I guess is the scientific name for it.
Mhm.
Or however you would like to pronounce your Latin.
Yeah. The
Well,
rank.
not however. You don't want to end up summoning demons when you're trying to talk about the Squonk.
Can I summon the Squonk? And he seems like a pretty nice guy, honestly.
Honestly, yeah, I would like to do little
Mm.
what's a fifth pet, honestly?
Yeah, I get it. The range of the Squonk is very limited. Few people outside of Pennsylvania have ever heard of the quaint beast, which is said to be fairly common in the hemlock forests of the state. The Squonk is of a very retiring disposition, generally traveling at about twilight and dusk. Because of its misfitting skin, just covered with warts and moles, it is it is always unhappy. In fact, it is said by people who are best able to judge to be the most morbid of beasts. Hunters who are good at tracking are able to follow a squonk by its tear-stained trail. For the animal weeps constantly. When cornered and escape seems impossible, or when surprised and frightened, it may even dissolve itself in tears. Squonk hunters are most successful on frosty, moonlit nights, when tears are shed slowly and the animal dislikes moving about. It may be, it may then be heard weeping under the boughs of dark hemlock trees. Mr. J.P. Wentling, formerly of Pennsylvania, but now at St. Anthony Park, Minnesota, had a disappointing experience with a squonk near Mount Alta. He made a clever capture by mimicking the squonk and inducing it to hop into a sack in which he was carrying home. When suddenly the burden lightened and the weeping ceased, Winsling unslung the sack and looked in it. There was nothing but tears and bubbles.
The poor thing. Like, it's just like, it's bad enough that it cries all the time, but the fact that it's just also being described as, what was it again? Like, the most. Sorry, I'm looking at it too, but anyways, just the fact that it's just like talking about just how it's like
The
unsightly and
most
just like
morbid of beasts.
most morbid. And it's just like, geez, give the guy a break. Or the mini guys, I guess.
Yeah,
Like, plus
there's
he
multiple of
probably
them.
killed him too. Like, I don't know. Like when I read that, I just assumed that he like was so sad that he like ended up like crying until he died and like was nothing but tears and
I,
bubbles.
I think I'll
Mm-mm.
go with the happier version that he escaped. 'Cause apparently they can dissolve themselves into the tears and then they can, I guess, reform somewhere else.
That I wasn't able to confirm.
I mean, I hope
But
when they
it's
dissolve they
possible.
don't die. That'd be rather sad. I guess that'd be
Yeah.
fitting
I
for
mean
this
it
creature.
I mean, it
everything
is
else
just,
about its existence is sad. So
yeah, right. That's kind of its whole thing is just to be sad. Because
Is
like the only other real article about it, do you want me to read the 1939
which was
account of
the
it?
which
Yeah,
is the critters,
it's
right?
yeah, Fearsome Critters by Henry H. Tryon in the year 1939. It's slightly different lore about him, but it's more or less the same.
And go for it.
Okay. So this one also says, that is probably the homeliest animal in the world and knows it. The distribution was once fairly wide, the usual habitat being high plains where desert vegetation was abundant. History shows beyond dispute, which I think is interesting, that at these areas, or as these areas gradually changed to swampy, lake-dotted country, the squonk was forced to take to the water. A distinctly low mentality, it traveled constantly counterclockwise around the unaccustomed marches in search of fodder. With time, it developed webbing between its toes, but only on the submerged left feet. Hence, on entering the water, it could swim only in circles and never got back to shore. Fossil bones dredged from these lake bottoms reveal that thousands perished of starvation in this manner. Today, this squonk is met with solely in the hemlock and forests of Pennsylvania. It is most retiring, bashful, crepuscular animal, garbed in a loose, warty, singularly ill-fitting skin. The squonk is always unhappy, even morbid. He is given to constant weeping over his really upsetting appearance. It can sometimes be tracked by his tear-stained trail. Moonlight nights are best for squonk hunts, for then the animal prefers to lie quiet in its hemlock home, fearing, should it venture forth, that it may catch a glimpse of itself in the same moonlit pool. Sometimes you can hear one weeping softly to himself. The sound is a low note of pleading, somewhat resembling the call of the cross-feathered snee.
Wow.
Just so sad.
Yeah,
Like, the
that's
fact that there are, like, thousands that died, like, I would be crying too.
yeah. So they just kind of get in and they just kind of swim in a circle until they starve to death. That's
Mhm.
that's pretty rough.
It is,
Not
because, like, up
not
until
that much
that
of a
point,
distance.
I thought that yeah, sorry. Up until that point, I just thought that it was a description of Sean.
Oh yeah,
Oh, wow. Wow, okay.
kind of
I didn't think
reminds
I
me
was
of my
that ugly.
mother-in-law. I'm
That
not
is
married. That's a
true.
joke.
A shameless plug that if you are single,
Oh, I am.
Andrew's available.
Yep,
Fantastic.
I have a
Shameless plug.
Mothman
Gotta
hat, so there you go.
ooh,
He's really
that'll
selling
attract all
himself.
I own lots of Krypton merch and I have a beard, so there you go. That's about it.
Um, and I just wanna know why people would actually hunt this thing.
I don't know. I haven't seen anything about like there being a reward for it. Like we talked about there was
I
like a reward for the Jersey Devil when people tried to hunt it and people faked it. I didn't really hear anything about the Squonk.
Yeah, I don't
um
know if I have either.
what I saw, because I did watch a few Pennsylvania natives who have hunted the squawk. It's more just fun. It's just something to it's just something to do. Try and challenge yourself to see if you can catch it.
I guess that's kind of like going down to Point Pleasant, West Virginia, and then taking a trip over to the TNT buildings, trying to see if you get a glimpse of the Mothman if he's still there.
Yeah, but the Mothman will hunt you.
No,
And
he, actually
torment your dreams.
he has never actually hurt anybody. There's no account of him
That's true.
actually causing anybody physical harm.
That's true, but that's an entire another episode.
It
See,
is, and
whereas the squonk could just might make you that much more depressed if you find it.
yeah,
Or
especially if you look at it and you're like, man, he kind of looks like me, you know,
like,
right, Sean?
or in my case. Wow, thanks. Getting double teamed over here. But no, see, if I found this thing, I'm like, wow, at least my life isn't this bad that I look like this. I don't look that much better, but at
I don't
least it
think
isn't this
anybody would
bad.
describe you as having ill-fitting skin. I'm not really sure what does that mean. Does that mean it kind of has like skin like a pug does? You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah, I'm kind
Uh,
of thinking so. That it's just like kind of like drooping over itself.
Yeah, except that pugs are cute, so
Are they?
yes.
I don't know. Yeah, they are. I'm unfortunately allergic to them though, so that's the one dog that I can't really pet very much.
Now, you gotta have to elaborate on how you can be allergic to one dog breed.
So I'm actually allergic to dog dander, so much that it will cause my skin to break out. Pugs notoriously have a very high amount of dander from their skin because of just how their skin is. Um, we had one, like my eyes would swell. I would have bumps going up my arms after trying to pet it because the dog. I still pet it. Just the consequences of my own actions weren't very fun to deal with.
So do you think there could be a problem with the squonk if you caught it? You think it'd have a lot of dander?
I don't know. Hopefully not. I mean, I guess I'm allergic to my sister's pit bull too, a little bit, but his isn't that bad. It just itches a little bit on my arms when I pet him.
Yeah, I for one am deeply allergic to things that cry all the time.
Yeah.
I tried to make sure that they're far away from me.
Oh. Well, how do you get
Okay,
along with Will then?
exactly.
Um, See, I just send him to his room if he's crying for too long. And then
Uh,
he comes out and he's happy, and it's honestly a very healthy relationship.
oh yeah. He just goes and plays video
Sounds like it.
games.
Sounds healthy.
How's your cat doing? It doesn't look like a squonk, does it? Wildcat, Waluigi.
Luckily, no. Although I am a little bit concerned about just how hyperactive it is. Like, it does not know the word no, and I think that it's starting to get above human intelligence
Oh,
at the rate that it's going.
yeah, that just sounds like a
Definitely a
cat.
skinwalker.
Well, it does. We just found out that it's potentially a Maine Coon.
Oh, well, they get big.
Yes. Big, smarter than all of the other cats combined, and extremely playful.
Well,
Like, it does not know how to stop
see, this
playing.
this is unrelated, but when Calypso, my cat, which is a calico, when she was a kitten, she would at night go after my feet because here's the thing: most mattresses are only made to be about 6 feet long. I'm 6'3", so any bed that I've owned, my feet have always hung off the end of, and she would always, every night, just attack my feet in the middle of the night. I don't know where I was going
Yeah,
with that, but that's just what cats do, I guess.
it is what cats do. I like just sitting like peacefully and then suddenly just feeling like razor sharp like teeth digging into my feet. It's amazing.
Oh yeah.
I
You sure that's a cat and not a skinwalker?
I did not think that's where you were going with that.
What? Think I was gonna say Will again?
Yeah,
Thought about it.
we don't we don't need to know what they do in their spare time.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. Like, at least with the Jersey Devil, we know that it steals donuts and goes out to California, but and this creature just cries all the time. Like, I wonder if it does anything apart from crying and swimming until it dies.
I don't know. I mean, it just seems overall pretty miserable, and I really wish it wasn't. I mean, maybe it's like again like a pug. Maybe it's just so ugly that it's cute. You know?
Right? I mean, and it could very well have been like a pug or something that people didn't recognize. Although I do like this one theory that I heard, and I think the Cryptid Sisters podcast where
Oh, I love
they
them.
talked. Yeah, they were talking about one of them had a theory about how it might have just been like a lumberjack going and like crying, and all of like the homies were just like, "Oh yeah, did you hear the squonk out there again?" They're just trying to like not call the guy out for crying in the middle of the woods by himself.
Oh, I could believe that.
Yeah, I think that's a really good theory actually because
It is.
men weren't really allowed to cry up until recently and still aren't
It's
necessarily.
still not really, no.
So, I kinda like that theory that they just, like, made up. It's just
I
like,
mean,
"Oh,
you
yeah,
we
like,
already
here's
talked
this,
about
like,
what you do
terrible
to Will,
creature."
so.
It's, I saw a theory that I also saw a theory that it was just
A
one
pig?
insanely ugly pig that he had never seen a pig that ugly in his life. He's like, this must be a cryptid.
See, and that's where I'm confused with, like, the low mentality because both pigs and dogs are pretty smart, aren't they?
Yeah, actually, yeah, pigs are
Depends,
about the intelligence of a human child. So,
uh, depends on the dog. I've raised a couple
sorry,
really
a human
child
child like
before.
10, 15 years ago, not now. Not the iPad kids.
Yeah, those are lower mentality.
You said it, so.
I'm just kidding, I'm not a mother. You guys can do what you want to do with your kids if you are listening. No judgment. I will probably also give my kid an iPad and see how their brain rots.
Maybe let them go outside or make them go outside once in a while.
Alright, it's just like, "Hi, go outside until you find
Go
a."
beat that tree with a stick.
Right, go find a dead leaf. I know it's the middle of the summer, but go find a dead leaf and then come back.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. Maybe I'll just do it with my kids, like, have you guys watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood? I'll just send them
Not
out in the
all the
middle of the
way.
woods.
Not all the way through. I've seen all Full Metal Alchemist.
Gotcha. Just drop them off in an island and be like, all right, I'll be back in a week.
You
Have
know,
fun,
you know
kids.
who my favorite character was?
Who?
I heard
Uh,
you say Chow Tucker.
no, it was Maze Hughes.
Yeah,
And
I love
I was like,
Maze.
man, he's great. I hope nothing bad ever happens to this guy. He's just the best character.
All right, if you guys are listening, that's what Andrew looks like.
I wish.
Oh,
I probably look more like
I think you look
uh
more like Envy.
no, I was gonna say what's it what's the woman's name? The blonde lady.
Uh,
Armstrong?
No, that's a guy.
Oh, they're
no,
brother
there's
and
two.
sister.
But are you
Yeah.
talking about a Hawkeye?
The love interest for Edward.
Oh,
Ah,
why am I
Her
blanking on her?
dad.
Winry. Winry.
Her dad, if you remember what her dad looks
Winry's
like.
dad. That is so very specific.
Welcome to our anime podcast.
Right.
There's no Squonks in Full Metal Alchemist, though, unfortunately. Um,
Is there even a Squonk?
is that what you're saying? Is you don't believe in the Squonk, Ashton?
I'm saying that I very much want to believe in the Squonk because if I say that the Squonk doesn't exist and the Squonk exists, I think that I'm going to break its heart.
yeah, I
And
think the
it'll come.
Squonk exists, and I would like to be its friend.
I would love to be its friend.
It just needs a hug.
It does. Don't scare it,
Except,
though. If you're too quick, it'll scare it, and it'll turn into a
Although
puddle of tears.
I've
yeah,
never seen Ashton hug anybody in our entire friendship, so
that's not true. If they're crying all the time and are as homely looking as Sean, then I just stay away.
Uh, Sean needs to be nurtured, though.
that's
Look,
fine.
look,
I
just
think Sarah's making me pizza rolls, so it's gonna
it's
be all good.
There you
It's
go.
not because like, I don't want to be around creatures that are crying. It's just that I'm allergic to tears.
Oh, I see.
I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah, so it's just like, I'm so sorry. Like, I want to comfort you, but I can't
Like,
physically do it.
was it from The Office where, like, they took that broom and, like, he's, like, holding the broom and, like, patted the person's back and was like, there.
Probably.
It's
That sounds like
Ashton.
something.
Ashton trying her best to comfort somebody.
It's hard, it's such a rare condition to be allergic to tears, and people just don't understand. But, like, I love the Squonk, like, I want to be friends with the Squonk.
I do too.
I
I
just
bet he's really cool. Yeah.
right? I just can't get close to it if it continues to cry for an extended period of time,
Yeah.
which I assume it does since that's what you do is follow
That's,
its tear-stained trail to find it.
I mean, it probably didn't get asked to the prom, and it's probably just uh it's just a teenager.
An immortal
I,
teenager with warts and low
Yeah.
mentality that's
Just acne.
bashful.
Just acne, yeah.
Right? It
I
would make
mean,
sense why it's crepuscular.
It's like
I mean, it,
picture day and you have a zit on your forehead, you know?
Yeah,
I don't really
that's the
know about
worst.
them. My mom never bought the pictures. We a few years we went to Kmart and did family pictures instead because it was somehow still cheaper than what the school system charges for pictures.
I believe that, honestly.
It's like I'm not paying $50 for a couple wallet-sized photos, you know?
Right? I don't even know where most of mine are. I know my parents have some of them framed, but
I think we have
all of the
two
other years.
yearbooks. One yearbook from like my 7th grade and one from my 8th grade. I think my sister got one, and then I got the other. Like, one year they got her one, the next year, my 8th grade year, I got one. They didn't really do yearbooks when I was in high school. That wasn't really much of a thing anymore, to be honest.
When you were in school, was that with Moses, or was it a little bit earlier than that?
You're
Oh,
calling yourself
buddy.
out quite a bit, Sean, because
Oh,
he's
Sean, buddy.
like 5 or 6 years younger than you.
I graduated high school in 2016.
See, I thought you were older than me. Shit.
No,
It's the voice.
I just lived a hard life. I'm the Squonk.
Was your life harder than the Squonks or easier?
No, easier.
What if Andrew is the Squonk?
That's what I'm wondering.
Did you spend any time in the Pennsylvania hemlock forest?
No, I've never actually even been to Pennsylvania. I've been to closest I've been is New Philadelphia, Ohio, which is right on the border.
Oh shit, that's probably why we haven't been able to find the Squonk. If you've
Yeah.
been hanging out there instead.
There you go then.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it, folks. The real reason why the Squonk has not been seen.
Yep. But no, I'm not. I'm not the Squonk.
As far as you know.
Yeah, hopefully not. I mean, I don't cry very much, so.
You just had that one bad time, like, about 100, or, wow, however long ago,
Was that
and
113 years?
yeah, and they've just been making fun of you ever since.
Oh yeah.
That sounds like high school.
Yeah.
Well, teenager. So I'm gonna go with the belief that the Squonk is a teenager.
Yeah, very possibly. I mean, either way, it's a very sad guy, and if you ever see the Squonk, be nice to him. Maybe give him a donut. You know.
Yeah. Hey, Cannon, that's why the New Jersey Devil stole one. It wasn't for him, it was for the Squonk.
It is. Because I tell you what, guys, sweets make me happy. Which is why I don't buy junk food.
Because you have to keep up your appearance of being sad.
No, because I have very little impulse control. And I will eat
I feel
all of the sweets within like a day or two if I buy them. But I tell you what, I sure am happy when I'm doing it.
Indeed. That's actually why Will never really cries, because, real man doesn't cry. He just eats sweets all the time.
Exactly.
Well, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry.
You just gained 70 pounds.
Something like that.
Yeah. That's what I did after college. I've lost about 40 of them, but we're still not back to what I was in college.
I don't think anybody is. You're good on that.
We're working on it. I'm trying to live long enough to meet the Squonk.
Okay. So,
This has
Sean,
been
do you
a
have anything
fascinating
else?
episode. Nope. I think this has been a more ridiculous episode than I expected, and about a sad pig. It's been fun. I thoroughly enjoyed what little research I could find on it.
Indeed.
It wasn't
Do you believe it
much.
exists?
Uh, I think it's just a really ugly pig, or a family of really ugly pigs. So, yes, I
Andrew?
believe it.
I do believe it exists, and I would very much so like to be its friend and give it a donut.
Indeed. And I think that it exists because I just feel too bad for it to not exist, and I would like to petition for it to be the new official mascot of Hufflepuff.
Thank you again, our ghosts and goblins, for listening to the Night Stalkers. You all be good to each other. Don't answer the scratching at your window.
Or do.
But most importantly, stay safe out there.
Good night.